All right, let's get the docket going. First case on the docket is Woody Wiener. I'm sorry, Wood v. Winger, cause number 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what's going on with this case?
This is an ex parte hearing on a motion for summary judgment. My client, Mr. Winger, was accused of being a nerd by David Wood. David Wood is opposing counsel, and he's litigating this case pro se. So he is the plaintiff. He's also the opposing party. He's the other attorney.
But is opposing counsel David Wood present?
No, Your Honor, he's not. He filed a waiver with the court, a waiver of notice for the hearing. In the waiver, he states the following, quote, "I don't need to appear. Everyone knows Mike Winger is a nerd. It is basically self-evident. I don't even need to appear in court. I have videos ready to play at the correct times to make my case for me."
The clerk just handed me a memo here. He has an opening statement prepared.
He does?
Oh, gosh, get ready for it. Get ready for it. I got to psych myself up. All right, here we go. Mike Winger. Is there beef between David and Mike? And you're about to see beef like you've never seen before. No one knows who Mike Winger is unless you're like the biggest Star Trek nerd on the planet. You go to all the conventions, you probably see a guy named Mike Winger there. He's a Christian YouTuber. Mike Winger. So there's Mike Winger, and his fans are the Wingalings. He's basically a walking, talking nerd emoji. If you talk to Mike Winger in person,
he talks like this and talks like the biggest nerd you've ever talked to at any point in your entire life. That's how he talks.
All right, counsel, you may proceed with the defense's opening statement.
Your Honor, David Wood has used some strong words here. He said a lot of things. He said cruel things.
my objection.
What?
Sorry, counsel. He said you were going to say that and to play that clip. He's objecting because you're attesting to things not in evidence. So technically, it is a valid objection, and I'm going to sustain.
How did he note that? Okay, the evidence will show that he has lied about my client. He said that he's a nerd when he's not a nerd, and it's hurt his reputation. And in the course of this hearing, I'm going to show you evidence that will prove that Mike Winger's Irish. El Elohim likes him. Okay, these are all cool points. There's things about him that are really tough, and it's ridiculous to try to get away with calling him a nerd in front of everyone. For my first piece of evidence, I'd like to, at this time, have the defense offer into evidence Exhibit A. This is video evidence showing that Mike Winger has only talked about Star Trek one time.
I think of the old Star Trek episode where Captain Picard, I don't think I've ever talked about Star Trek before. Captain Picard is there.
This is file marked for 1 month ago. Okay, so his whole life, his whole career, he never talked about Star Trek until 1 month ago. That's it.
They don't want anyone to know what you're about to know. If you think I'm exaggerating, watch this until the end and explain to me how this information isn't utterly devastating.
Now, at the birth of Jesus, Joseph is going out and he's looking for someone to help them with the birth, and he can't find anybody. And then there's this really interesting, like, Star Trek type scene where he's walking and then time freezes, and it gets into the next generation. It's like Star Trek, you know, there's just, you keep getting a new generation of, for you Trek fans.
Heaven was torn open. I mean, it feels like Star Trek. Where it feels like wormhole, like kind of thing, you know? And I know.
It's like, then this king does this, and then it's like, next generation. And then next generation. And then next generation. It's like Star Trek, you know? There's just, you keep getting a new generation of, for you Trek fans.
How am I going to make it through this video, man?
At this time, the defense would like to request a short recess. Bro, how many times in the last 8 years have you talked about Star Trek? Just there, he pulled up like 5 times? We're getting freaking killed out there, man. What is wrong with you? Okay, calm down. No, you don't need your inhaler. Just, okay, I'll figure this out. Don't worry. I got this. I've dealt with worse. Yeah, I know, that's hard to believe. I've dealt with worse.
All right. Court is now in session. We may proceed with the plaintiff's next evidence.
But you guys remember the old Karate Kid movie? Back in the day when Daniel-san was being trained by Mr. Miyagi. And Mr. Miyagi, he's supposed to be training him in karate, but instead he tells him, wax the car, wax on, wax off, right? And paint the fence. And he's really like...
It's kind of cool anyway. Okay, so Karate Kid, it's like Cobra Kai. Karate is kind of cool. It was really cool in the 90s. It's really not that nerdy.
Wax on, wax off, right?
This isn't evidence upon which a genuine dispute of a material fact can be made. Okay, the motion for summary judgment should still be granted.
Yes.
That I can, it's like in Star Wars, it's the Force, and I can use the Force and interact with the Force, right?
I mean, even Timothy Paul Jones, who's pretty cool, he's a Star Wars fan.
Now, electrons. Imagine electrons. These are tiny, tiny little things, right? Electrons. That's what makes Pokemon work.
Okay, yeah, this looks bad, but we have to remember that even Jay Dyer is a Pokemon fan. At this time, the defense would like to offer into evidence Exhibit B.
Jim Jones is my favorite cult leader, so I know quite a bit about him.
He's your favorite. You collect them like Pokemon. You got like cards.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
I just have to warn everyone ahead of time. Give a content warning. This is possibly the nerdiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Mike Winger's like, Jeepers, this guy's really bad. Oh, I'm sorry I said Jeepers and bad. I hope your kids weren't listening. That's how he's like the entire time.
This is simply ridiculous. Mike Winger doesn't say things like...
Did you look at the number one comment there, counsel?
Okay, just because he says a weird thing once in a while, that doesn't really mean any...
Bruce Metzger, he's one of the biggest hoity-toity guys you can quote when it comes to textual criticism.
I mean, yeah, okay, he didn't have to say it like that, but it's not that big of a deal.
I will announce, right? I'm a cat guy. I got 2 cats, and I have a new camera upgrade.
This isn't... He's just saying he has a cat cam. It's not like there's evidence out there that he's actually recording his cat.
I've created the cat cam. So if I have one of my cats available to me, I may well put the cat cam up. So there's... And welcome.
At this time, the defense would like to request another recess. Why in the hell do you have a cat cam? What, do you just, like, not care at all about this case? Why would you put that on the internet? Did you just set that up and you just had no idea how nerdy that was as you were doing that, really? Oh, yeah, your mom liked it? Okay, you know what?
Okay, court is now in session.
Your Honor, we've secured some evidence that I believe will exonerate the defendant in this case.
When I was a little kid, okay, I was like, I don't know, 11 or something. Me and my friend were walking down our street and someone shot bullets at us. We don't know why, what was going on. I don't know what was going on, right? I live in Southern California, so sometimes weird things happen. We thought it was a fake gun.
So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, does a nerd get shot at? No, that's something for like gangsters and rappers and cool people. That's not something that happens to nerds.
Let's be honest. Once you snake handle, you never go back. I don't know. But who knows? Who knows?
Okay, yeah, the tie looks a little bad, but it's not an everyday thing. This is just a one-off thing taken out of context. It's ridiculous to try to use this to prove that Mr. Winger's a nerd.
It's like watching a thumbnail of a video of mine over the past 2 years and going, Mike will have this weird, ugly pink shirt in the thumbnail. It's like, it's not really prophecy, guys. You might get it wrong, but you're sort of just paying attention. I'm trying to change my thumbnails, by the way. I'm trying to get better at it. I know it's an ugly thumbnail.
What do you think of Mike Winger?
I think I've seen a couple of his videos. He has like a guitar behind him and stuff. He's like
total nerd stuff. Like, oh, look at me, I've got a guitar back here.
This is all just highly emotional and subjective. So with the court's permission, I'd like to send out a super chat to a live stream and have Chat GPT answer whether Mike Winger is a nerd or not.
All right, counsel, you may proceed.
Ask ChatGPT if Mike Winger is a nerd. Okay, you got it. Let's pull up ChatGPT. Is Mike Winger a nerd?
This is gonna affect my trust in this system a lot.
Is Mike Winger a nerd? Answer.
Which can be
in-
associated with nerdy interests.
Yes, there it is.
Many people who appreciate his content might affectionately. That's it. Ball game.
Boom.
Mike Winger a nerd.
Boom.
Okay, like I'm strange, right? Like I'm a nerd in specific ways. I wear this shirt for David Wood, by the way. You guys can let him know, David Wood. This shirt's for you.
I think I've heard all I need to hear, counsel. Your motion is dismissed with prejudice.
Only one thing can cheer me up now.
You guys would find this interesting. Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, said he had more to boast of, at least in one way, than even Jesus. So I'm going to read to you the quote now from the official Mormon Church Histories of the Church. This is something they publish. Histories of the Church, Volume 6, pages 408 and 409.
Always knock.